Hello everyone, welcome to another Rosie video. I think you're going to find this one pretty interesting because I'm going to be talking about my experience with the GoPro Hero 7, the Black Edition. And I feel like I have some qualification to speak on it now because having just returned from San Diego, I put it through some really tough use. How so? Well, everything from using it at night to taking it out in the ocean. And if you're one of the people that's been using GoPro for years like I have, you'll know that's quite a jump. It's quite an innovation to think that you can take a camera into the ocean, the GoPro, without worrying about a waterproof case. It really is a game changer. Let's talk about my experience and my feedback. Was there a problem? Yeah, there's a problem. We'll get to that. But let's talk about the good things this week. Number one, if you used GoPros before, you know the battery life, the short battery life, particularly when you're doing video at 1080 and above, was a little nerve-wracking. So you always had to make sure that you carried 2 or 3 extra batteries with you. Well, I found that the battery life improved significantly. I don't usually do videos above 1080. I usually do them if I'm going to be away and I'm using a low-speed connection, Wi-Fi connection to handle video. I'll usually shoot at 720p, which is the minimum high definition. And I have found that the battery life is really excellent for this. I was able to use one battery for almost a whole day's shooting, charge it overnight, use it the next day. It was great. Restaurant reviews, things like that. So definitely the battery is a real plus on it. So good for you for GoPro for doing that. Number two, the colors out of the box or used on auto setting. I'm not talking about Pro Tune, where you're shooting a flat profile that you can color grade yourself and do some adjustments in a color grading program. But for the majority of people, the 95% of people that buy this camera for out of the box use, the color rendering was great, you know. And the other thing that was very nice too was the white balance, the automatic adjusting white balance, or how much yellow, how much white you get into your videos was much improved over the GoPro's Hero for the silver edition that I was using. So the whole color profile, I think, has been improved dramatically. Uh, my partner, Missy Jen, was commenting how the color profile has improved so much since the GoPro Hero 4. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Out of the box color rendering within the GoPro camera. You can still tweak it a little bit if you want and put it into an editing program. Do a slight bit of adjustment on it as I did on some of my videos, but out of the can was really hard to beat on the way that it was coming into the editing program. I really like that. Transferring videos via Wi-Fi. There's nothing nicer on a trip. One of the worst things about cameras is when you take the SD cards in and out, because the more you take it in and out, the more you have a chance of corrupting and eventually ruining that SD card. I was able to keep my SD card in the whole time, and using the GoPro Quick program, just take my videos and wirelessly transfer them into my phone, where I could then put them into my PowerLink Cyber Director editing program, all very quickly, all very efficiently. It really worked great. And let me tell you, I'm not producing cinematic videos here. I'm getting the experience out there to my subscribers on YouTube. So I don't need everything to be top drawer. I don't need everything to be all super pristine and adjusted. I just need to get them transferred, get them put into a simple editing program on my phone, and get them uploaded to YouTube. How convenient is that? It's about as close to real time as you can get, and I really like the transfer speed, and I really like the program that you can install on your phone to get those videos into your editing program. Let's talk about the best thing of all, and I've said it before, the stabilization is amazing. I already talked about going into the ocean and just rinsing it off afterward. It was great. But the stabilization is so fantastic that at times it looks like you're using a drone to capture the footage. It is that impressive. I've used gimbals before, and you know what? Gimbals have that little bit of rock because when you walk, your body goes up and down slightly, and that transfers into the gimbal. I noticed in using the GoPro Hero 7 that a lot of that up and down was not existent in the video, and I was very happy that I could do the occasional dolly zoom shot going in on somebody without having any shakiness. I could do a long oneer, the long take from say one end of the Cafe Coyote restaurant down in Old Town San Diego. I could start at one end and do that whole 30-second sequence and slow that down and get a nice slow motion going on that. And it just looked fantastic without all the shakiness and without all the ups and downs. It really is like using a super long slider when you're doing those shots. And when I'm in a restaurant and showing the food and doing like the slider shots across, they're virtually perfect. I mean, as long as you regulate your speed and keep it even, it looks like you're using a slider with your camera mounted on it. It is awesome. And that stabilization is incredible. And it'll stabilize 1080 video, I think up to 60 frames per second, which is a very great rate. You don't stabilize in the 4K, but it's awesome. I also use the time lapse feature, which was great for doing scenes on the boardwalk in San Diego. I'm over the moon with this camera. It's been a game changer for me. If I want to zoom in on something, I'll just shoot the scene in 4K. I'll hold it real steady, and I can enlarge and zoom in on the. Use my editing program to crop and bring out bring it out. It's amazing. Can even do that at 1080 with I think up to 120 frames per second. It is great the way that you can enlarge that image, crop that image, and get what you want and still have it look great. Is there a weak side to this camera? Well, it's the same old GoPro bugaboo that it's always been. The lens is not a fast lens. If you look at some of my videos, especially in, well, the Italian restaurant that we were at, Filippi's Pizza Grotto in San Diego, it was pretty pretty dim in there, as most Italian restaurants tend to be, and the camera struggled to get some of those images. This is not a fast lens. You know, I always dream of the day when I can spend $50 more on a GoPro camera, maybe the Hero 8 edition, and have maybe two lenses mounted on the front, or at least a faster lens, maybe a 1.8. I'm willing to pay a little more money for that. Heck, even my Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has a fast 1.8 lens. I'm out at nighttime. I'm doing live streaming from the streets, and it's lighting that up like it's daytime. It is wonderful. So GoPro, something to think about on improving the GoPro 7. But I'll tell you, after a week of use, nighttime, daytime, tons of moving footage, ocean video, everything. This camera, I'm awarding this camera an A rating. This is my go-to camera along with my cell phone for video fun. All right, guys, take it from me. Somebody that has shot over 6,000 videos and probably 30,000 individual clips with GoPros. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the GoPro camera. Thanks for watching my review here. I'm interested in seeing your comments down below for $399 that I paid for the black, the top of the line GoPro Hero 7 Black. I consider it a real bargain because I paid just as much 4 years ago for my GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition, and I'm getting so much more. The other thing too is the pickup on the microphone is much better too. So my sound pickup is great. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Your thumbs up are appreciated. Leave some comments down below if you have any questions about the camera. I think it would make a heck of a Christmas gift if you want to give yourself a big reward or somebody else in your life. Thanks, everyone.